1 year since the mass shooting that killed 19 children and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. The rampage shocked the nation, only to be followed by many other mass shootings over the past year. Joining us now is Clayton Cranford. He is a retired Orange County Sheriff's Sergeant and a former school resource officer. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate having you. It's a very important topic. Since Uvalde, more than 200 mass shootings in this country. I know everyone's trying to come up with this answer, but what, in your view, with your experience, needs to be done to get this under control?
It really boils down to 2 things: training and resources. So we have schools, we have law enforcement agencies across the United States who are not prepared to do a behavioral threat assessment. And that's maybe one of the biggest problems is we have a person of concern, they're not trained to properly identify that person. And then the second part is once we identify them, what do we do? Right, so there needs to be resources in the community to address that person's issue, and usually it's mental health, and get them off that path of violence and put them on a healthy path.
Yeah, usually we see with these mass shooters, especially when it comes to school shootings, that there were warning signs that either were ignored or overlooked or not taken as seriously, and then of course they have access to weapons of war, right? Yeah,
so the good news is that these people don't just snap one day. There are observable behaviors that indicate they're on that path of violence. So it doesn't mean we can stop every one of them, but we can do a better job of stopping the ones that we're seeing happen throughout the United States.
And the president will speak tonight on the anniversary of Uvalde. Gun violence has been on the rise in general. What do you attribute it to?
I think, again, it goes back to mental health. So we have students more than ever struggling with mental health. More students today are saying that they feel hopeless. I think a lot of this was exacerbated during the lockdown, but I think we have a lot of people that need help, and we need to identify those people and get them that help.
And so you worked in schools. You were also on the threat assessment team. What should schools be doing? Did they flood in counselors to address the mental health issue? Do they put in metal detectors? Do they arm teachers? I mean, what are schools to do in this situation?
So schools are responding with adding more counselors, so that's a great start. But also, so the school district and that local law enforcement agency should know how to do a threat assessment, have a threat assessment team program, and then all the stakeholders in that community need to get together: mental health, law enforcement, probation, all those need to come together and come up with a plan so that once we have that person identified, we have a way of managing them.
But we do see some shootings too where it's not a student who had a mental health break, where, you know, Sandy Hook comes to mind, where it was the son of a teacher who came into the school. That might not have been an easily detectable issue by the school.
Yeah, true. Most cases, however, more than 80%, somebody knew that that person was struggling on a path of violence, or there was some indicator that they needed help. And Sandy Hook is kind of an outlier because he was living at home with mom, and mom was maybe the only person who realized that he was having an issue. But most cases, when a kid's in school, he's interacting with she's interacting with a lot of people every day, and there's opportunities to intercede.
So what should parents be telling their children in terms of looking out for classmates who might be on this path? What should parents look for in their own children as possible warning signs?
Well, kids are going to be in the firsthand knowledge, right? A lot of these issues are being expressed on social media, so they have an opportunity to share that. And yeah, if you say something, but there also needs to be a way for them to do that. So schools that use some kind of confidential texting kind of reporting for students is often maybe one of the best tools that we can use.
And LAUSD, I believe, just adopted a program like that, a texting system. So you're confident that will help? That
will make a huge difference. We saw a big difference in Orange County when we did that.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. It's a super important topic, sad one to talk about, but really important. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.